GM, everyone. My name is Mike Pawel. I'm the developer at Superteam Germany. And today I am very hyped to tell you that we have guests from Holyheld. For those of you who don't know it, we will get a quick introduction and you will hear how you can integrate payments in your own decentralized application on Solana. And they don't only operate on Solana, but also on other blockchains. So if you are looking into cross-chain stuff and looking forward how to on-ramp and off-ramp, please welcome Anton and Stefano from Holyheld. Hey guys.
Hello, Mike. Thank you for this intro. For you guys listening to this now live, for you guys listening to this sometime later, hi everyone. It's a pleasure being here.
Nice to have you here. Maybe before we start with the deep tech, can you give us a quick introduction of who you are and what your position at Holyheld is?
Oh, yes. You know what? Let me actually share my screen right away so that you guys don't see just, two of our, myself and Stefano boring faces. Mike, you're always amazing. And happy to walk everybody through. So give me a second. And there we go. That was a bit of a teaser there. I'm just gonna go quickly, by myself. So I'm Anton. I'm one of the co-founders of Holyheld, and I'm just a customer support. Literally, all I do is my job is to make sure that our users are happy. So that's why I'm here. I'm here to support both our customers, developers, and users. That's it. Stefano, over to you, sir.
Yeah, like I'm the non-Anton in the team, so there's a lot of Antons, but unfortunately not Anton. That's coming. And I'm the customer support intern. So whenever Anton is away, I'm there in customer support as well, as he mentioned, on all roles, all hands on deck, everywhere. Yeah, small team, but everyone hands on deck.
Everybody's customer support. But jokes aside, we are very focused on how to make this both an amazing experience for users, an amazing experience for you developers. Today we're going to talk about, it's not possible without you guys, you developers. Our goal is, we're lazy, right? So we want to build something that can work autonomously and something that can work, without us. And today, hopefully, we can show you how easy it is to do something without us.
That's great to hear.
All right.
But just also one thing for the audience, for the live audience. As a teaser, we will have some special perks, so don't leave. You will get some alpha that you usually don't get if you just search for Holyheld. So stay tuned if you're interested in integrating it into your own app. And also for the presentation itself, Anton and Stefano, are you fine if there are questions that we do it while we go, or do you want to answer them at the end of the presentation?
Look, let's have a chat. I think it's also going to be interesting for everybody who's going to watch this afterwards. So we do want this back and forth interaction. So tell us, what do you like? What do you don't like? If you have any questions, if we miss something and you really want to know about it. So let's have this dialogue. I don't see the screen, so because I'm sharing it from my side. So Stefano, Mike, if you can help coordinate here.
Yes, we'll get the questions that we see popping up.
Sounds good. Right. Sounds good.
So,
all right.
Write your comments on X and on YouTube, and I won't interrupt you anymore. But I will if there are some questions, but not unnecessarily. The stage is yours.
No, let's have fun. Mike, thank you once again. All right, guys. Here's our plan for today. So first, we're actually going to talk about what is Holyheld very briefly. This context, trust me, is necessary to give you a perspective of what you can build with the Rails that we're showing here today, because our app is built on these Rails. Then, two, we're going to talk about the Rails. And then we're going to talk about 2, why and hows. So why payments in Solana, how payments in Solana, and then finally, this is probably the most sensitive topic for a lot of the people, is that payments on mobile. And finally, we prepared something for you, is that these are the really hot, interesting ideas that we think are missing today. And that's something that has not been developed, but we think that all the tools, including our part here, do exist now today. So maybe you'd be interested also in building, something there that hasn't been existing before. But again, this is just our stuff. They're our ideas, which we're limited. We don't know everything. So maybe you actually have some ideas already in mind that we haven't. So it's going to be really cool. Maybe you can outline it in the comments now, or maybe you reach out later. But basically, let's go. And let's try to make this fun. Stefano, what is Holyheld?
Good question. It's actually a fashion brand that distributes the best merch across DeFi. But once we're not doing fashion, Holyheld is basically your daily cash account. It's your Web3 card, which you can use with the wallet you like, the tokens you want, and the network you prefer. I think that's a very bold statement, but you will see throughout the evening today on what this means. But yes, we come from Web3. We wanted to have a solution that is not just like Web3 native and Web3 friendly, but it actually works, and it works for you and with the tools you want. We've processed so far a little bit over 1 million card transactions directly from crypto, as well as more than 300 million USD in card payments, as well as SEPA payments. So it's not just a card, it's a full IBAN in your name that you can use to pay for your bills, receive your salary, on-ramp, off-ramp, and as we see today, interactive like any on-chain logic. So anything that you can dream of, anything you can use with on-chain logics, that's what's possible.
I would put a small star there because everything has to have that small star there. But Holyheld app is actually built on something called BRRR. Now that you know that Stefano said that we're a fashion brand, we're really focused on these cool names. So BRRR actually stands for Blockchain Reconciliation and Remittance Record, which is a very bold name for essentially instruction machine. So all it does, it robs and simplifies everything to do with 2 things. One is the payment networks, and 2 is the blockchain networks. How do you connect the 2 so that the 2 really separate worlds, different tech stacks, different logic, different everything, they can actually work together. So this is where we abstract a lot of that complexity when it comes to, so that we can build cool use cases when it comes to the payments. Maybe just as to how and what not, unless you know, there's probably around anywhere between 300 to 500 large payment networks. So we're talking about something like Swift, SEPA, Visa, MasterCard. So think about 300 to 500 large ones like those. The problem is that all of those things, that they are actually not connected to each other. When somebody sends you a wire via SEPA, it absolutely has zero connection to a wire you want to make via Swift. The way that those networks are connected is essentially through banks, call them nodes. But then those banks are also isolated to themselves. They have to be connected via these different specific networks. And then we had this thing, is that I like an idea, like an egg there. It's like, okay, so if there's like so many different payment networks, should we create a new payment network, and like this payment meme, to kind of be the new standard and to rule all of them? The answer is no. We think that instead of creating something new there, instead we should focus on building tools to connect. And that's ultimately, in short, right, what BRRR is all about. How you can connect and drop 2 different things, and then merge them together and create something new and beautiful. Now, Stefano, tell me a bit about e-commerce on mobile experience and how our SDK works for your mobile app, and it doesn't have to be only the web app.
Yes, I think if we look in today's world, we still see a minority of transactions is still happening on web. So we're looking at roughly 27%, and Anton just spoiled it. But as we can see, we have over 70% of today's transaction when it comes to purchases online, be it through the Amazon app, through Shopify apps, through just your mobile browser, are happening on mobile. And I think one large issue that we've seen across crypto is that basically today we're still looking at crypto as a web app first platform. So you need your browser, you need your dApp, you connect your browser extension to that dApp. But looking at this from a mobile perspective, it's going to be incredibly hard, right? So connecting your wallet to another mobile wallet application or even to a mobile browser is nearly impossible in today's world. When I say nearly impossible, the big asterisk comes again and the small star somewhere. We basically worked on this to be able to connect both your crypto as well as fiat rails through mobile and be able to purchase things across shops and do payments.
And maybe now to the folks that are listening to this right now, before we go into the fun part, which is how you actually do that, if I can ask you, right now, think out of the box. Maybe if you're listening to this in the recording, pause the video, think for 5 seconds, and then if you just can give me the answer, how many crypto apps that are mobile native, so actual mobile apps, that are not wallets that you can use today? And that's the first question. And the second question, not can, but you are actually using today. And then this, ratio becomes very obvious that it's, so as of now, it's few, but we want you to build mobile apps working on Solana. And we're going to show you how you can do that. So now there's 3 QR codes. What we've prepared for you guys today is, first, we've built a simple HTML-based demo, something that you guys can actually copy the code. You can, give it a try yourself. You can deploy it yourself today. 2, for those of you guys that don't want to deploy, your own first app, then there's a live demo example. We've already deployed it ourselves, so it's there. And 3 is for the bravest ones, is the SDK dogs. So what we're going to do now is that we're actually going to go through how you can do today and what you can do today. And then once we walk through this, then Stefano is going to give you some of those ideas with the tools that we show that we have, what kind of things you can actually then implement and build. So if you're watching this in recording, pause the video and then scan the QR codes. And then if you're doing it now, you can follow me now, or you can actually play with this. We can come back to this later, actually, in a second. But I'm gonna
maybe
go
just
here.
one quick thing. Sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
Before we move on, you showed this one slide where it says that 73% was mobile transactions, right? Is it all transactions, or does it include or exclude blockchain transactions?
These were e-commerce, so payments. So it's not related to, it's not related to blockchain specifically. I think it's going to be extremely hard to have an accurate data. How many transactions, as in transfers, for instance, on Solana, would originate from mobile wallets versus browser extension of the wallets? I don't think that there's any reliable open data about that. But the information that we have, yes, was purely Web2. This was related to just general payments as we understand them, e-commerce. So I, as a user or as a business, buy something. But that's important to understand, because if you are looking something to do with payments, you need to think mobile, because this is what people use today. This is what we all use today. I don't think that the majority of us who would be watching this, they would say, you know what, I actually prefer web to log in into my banking account and do things. Most of us would probably say, well, actually, it's an app. I use an app, and it's kind of more convenient. And we have to bring or shift our mindset from the heavily web-denominated dApps into, can we build mobile dApps? And the answer is yes.
I totally agree with you. Like, when I think about it, a couple of years ago, I was using the banking app as a web application, and now even that is on mobile. And the data regarding the amount of transactions, is it the amount of transactions, or is it the amount in money? So let's say, is it the volume itself?
Numbers. It's numbers. Yes.
Okay.
So that's so when it comes to the Web2 statistics, there's different standards, different organizations. That's their whole job, to collect this information. Of course, it can differ. Then this is like a global kind of high level overview. If you drill down into region per region, into type, to type, or even the age of the audience, because younger folks, it's one thing, and then the older generation, it's that. So the short answer it could be is that if you want to do payments, it has to be something to do with mobile. Especially if you're dealing with that end consumer, right? So you provide that experience. If you're not the Rails or somewhere in the back end, the service that you want to do, it has to be mobile ready.
It's a very interesting takeaway. I didn't know that the number was that high even. So
it's getting higher every year. It's actually getting higher every year, and I guess like in the near future, it will get even higher if you look at the way people interact with ChatGPT, with agents, with Anthropic, Claude, whatever it is, right? But basically, people will just type in, go and buy me that, right? And it will happen from their mobile. And I think it's going to get more and more.
Yeah, I see that. Mobile is the way.
How do we get started? For those of you guys that actually already opened the source code on the GitHub, clone the repo, open it up. We're going to quickly walk you through now again, what is that and how easy it is to do. For everybody else, take a look at the actual very clean, minimalistic, ultra simple HTML example. So look at this. There's no beautiful in this stuff, anything, but this shit works. And for everybody else, we're actually going to walk you through now, what do you need? And just put a timer on. Let's see how easy it is or how not easy it is. But hopefully it is easy, guys. So again, let's not get boring. Number one, some boring stuff. If you want to access the production version of this, you will need an API key. If you want an API key, then you can reach out to us, and then we can definitely give you one. Without the API key, you would not be able to access the production version. You can still play it in the test, but you will not be able to access the production version. That's number one. Now, when we go into the first thing that we need to understand is that basically this SDK allows you to work with all of the Holyheld user base, everyone's account, to do two things: to move money in or to move money out. And then this is where the connection becomes, so to move money from where? From Solana. And then to move money to, it can be go back from Fiat to Solana. And this is the first point to say that in here, because we do not touch the logic that comes before us and you calling the API. And when I go into the actual off-ramp, you'll see why exactly. You can actually do the multi-call, meaning that you can include any other logic on top previously to settling the funds, which can give quite a lot of the different new scenarios and use cases that were not previously possible before. But in order for us to reach that point, number one, please note that what we require is we require polyfills. Why is in this SDK, which is basically for for Node.js, there's some dependencies there that the browsers do not support. So, but we can basically make sure that everything works from the dependencies perspective if you have the polyfills. Now, these are the most popular ones. So White, Webpack, Rollup, whatever you're using. Or you can actually check if you're using any other bundlers, you can check their information for polyfills. But keep in mind that's basically something that you'd need. Now, number two, what we work with and what you guys are working with is actually Solana's Web3 library. You will see it from the utilities to the wallet client handling, but basically we heavily rely on this dependency and this library, and that's what we're going to work with. Now, how to actually install the SDK? Yarn or npm, either way works. So you can always kind of piggyback. So if you're trying to do this right now, you can do this right now, or if you're just watching kind of through this, just keep in mind, very simple. Now, initialization, that's another very simple thing. Remember, I mentioned that you'll need an API key. This is basically a very simple, instruction, like how you can initialize your requests that are going through our SDK. The key, as I mentioned, you can simply ask your point of contact. So whether it would be us, you can reach out to us, you can reach out to Superteam folks, and we'll make sure that it works, it happens for you if you want to build something there and move to production. We're here to support you. Now, when it comes to Web3 providers and Web3 connectors, what happens here is that you can either have your custom client interface implementation, or you can use the ready-made examples. For example, in here, we show you that we can work with the Phantom wallet adapter from the Solana Web3 library, or you can actually work with your, again, custom implementation. This is basically what our SDK is expecting. If you think the way SDK works is that we can work with that Web3 wallet session that you already have within your dApp, so that it actually unlocks a lot of the seamless experience when it comes to working with wallets, signing transactions, and operating for the user. But basically, it's just two things, right? One is network. Two is the wallet interface connection. Now, this is how we get into the actual fun part. And what do you need to do and what you can do. Now, in total, we give you the 5 different methods, and I would separate here the flow into hell yeah mode, and then what we think is probably the most optimal approach if you're actually building for for something that you want to be reliable, you want users to make sure that they have a good experience. So I'm gonna go with that kind of, call it the boring stuff, but ultimately what you can do, or what you need to do, is something that we call get service settings. So number 1 is that this is the technical aspect. Simply the feature that would tell you is that everything works correctly. So Holyheld is available, you can use things, and basically you can move ahead. For instance, if something is down, if something is not working, then this method would basically return to you is that, okay, well, yeah, something's not working. So it doesn't even make sense to continue further. Now, the second thing, and this is why I've mentioned previously that it is cool, or it makes sense that you can even make your custom wallet interface implementations if you're building actually a Solana wallet. So that's another thing. If you currently don't have the ready-made package adapter in the Web3, that's in Solana, it's totally fine. But ultimately, what happens here is that what you can request is something that's called validate address, and what you need to provide to Holyheld SDK is an address. When it comes to Solana, we expect it depends, right? It can be up to from 32 to 44 chars. It's base 58 encoded. And ultimately, this method will return you 2 parameters. So Boolean, basically true or false. Is the top-up allowed, and is on-ramp allowed? Now, essentially what it means is that you can check by default if the customer that you have, the user, they've connected the wallet to your dApp, And then you can go ahead and actually check with Holyheld right away if that wallet address that the user is connected is recognized on Holyheld side. If we recognize this wallet, and it means that we actually know this customer and this is already their approved wallet address, then you will receive through here. And it means that this user can, use your dApp, and then you can use the SDK, and you can move funds to the Holyheld's account. As simple as that. Now, an alternative to validate address option, it could actually be something called get tag info. Now, I think everyone's familiar with all of these different payment apps. They have different tags, nicknames, essentially an account name that can be public, and it abstracts all the other information away. So either the wallet address or the IBAN information. Something like that also exists in Holyheld. And what it means is that if you want to build a social payment app, so for example, customers to be able to send money to each other from crypto, like on their Phantom, Solflare wallet, from Solana to USDC or to a meme coin, you can build this social payment app using Holy tags. Holy tags are public and they're not reversibly engineered, meaning that if the customer, the user provides you the tag, you will not be able to know what wallet address actually signed and created this tag. But it works exactly the same way. Essentially, method here that you can query Holyheld SDK to get this information. Oh, is this Holy tag valid one or not? And if it is valid one, then basically you'd have this information returned. Now, for the sake of the testing, because you don't necessarily have an account, or maybe you want to again test sending funds from one user to another user, not involving production side or the fiat side, but still do it in, call it production, right? So Solana mainnet. We have this tag, so SDK test, and you can use that. All of the transactions, all of the responses, everything are valid, so they're production, and the transaction will actually happen on blockchain, but there will be no fiat counterpart, so it's safe to do it, and there's no minimum amount set, so you can play with lamperts, and basically you can still achieve what you want to do with different tests in case you want to test in production. So keep in mind again that this is the test tag, so ultimately everything that don't send production money to this test tag. Now, what we also give you is that we give you a method which can be very useful whether you are dealing with payments or not, but it's something called get wallet balances. So get wallet balances will return you all of the tokens. They're anything from, again, their information like icons, logos, prices in USD, and also the balance on that specific wallet address. So if in your dApp you don't already work with different token balances on the wallet itself, you can simply query this method and retrieve it. This is important for that different use case or different flows or different experiences that people may, or different UX that you may want to build. But essentially, this allows you to check what tokens does my customer have on their wallet address, so that I can let them choose which token they want to use. Now, in Holyheld, and I'm a bit speed walking here, but we have an internal swapper aggregator, meaning that even if that's the token, for example, that Holyheld doesn't accept, it can be automatically routed and swapped should the liquidity allow to do so on chain. So in this case, you basically, if you query this and you have a lot of meme coins in the wallet, then you're going to get a lot of those meme coins and they will actually work. But this method is self-explanatory, essentially. It's basically very, very straightforward. Now, the next segment, right? So we are walking through the user experience, which is check if Holyheld is actually working, check if this user, if this wallet address, so you're dealing with wallet addresses, if this wallet address is the customer of Holyheld, and if yes, you can go further. If not, if they want to, they can onboard. And then the next thing then would be is that to choose what token that user wants to use in the amount. So then the next expected stage is actually to get a quote. What is that quote, and is it necessary or not? It's not necessary, but then this really depends on the user experience that you want to provide. Ultimately, what you can give users the quote, it's essentially an estimate. If the user tells you that, hey, I want to convert 1 billion, X tokens, whatever it is, then if you use this method, then ultimately what you can actually achieve here is that you will get a euro estimate. So you will see in euro how much of those 1 billion X tokens in euro are going to be. What we also offer you is something that is not typically done. It is actually getting from the euro amount, the token estimate, so a reverse one. So think of it as like when you're building an interface and you have an input, you can allow user either to enter how much euros they want to receive, and then from that, you're going to be, you will receive this estimate, how many tokens are required. So what's that minimum amount? Or vice versa, you can simply say that, oh, I have 1 billion tokens. How much is that going to be in fiat? So you have two different methods. You can work with either one. And then finally, and that's basically how easy it is the actual off-ramp method. Now, all of the four previous ones that I walked you through, which is, get server settings, validate the address, and then, get the quote, and, check the tokens there. What happens is that they're optional. They can make the UX of your app and what you're trying to do better or more sophisticated, depends on what you want to do. But really, the only method that you actually need in order for the actual conversion to happen is this. And essentially, all they require, wallet address, which is who is that signer. So where's the transaction coming from? The token address that you want to use, the token amount, and essentially the transfer data. Now, the transfer data either will be bundled by Holyheld by default if you haven't used that quote, right? So like a quote estimate before, or you can pass it in this method. So essentially, that's a seamless transition here. So TLDR, all you need in order to move from a self-custody wallet and a token on Solana to funds on user account, SEPA or card, doesn't matter, like it's all together, it's basically integrated, is who is the signer? So who is signing that transaction? What is the token? So basically the contract address. And then what is the amount? Literally this. So three parameters are what's separating you from moving funds between essentially crypto and non-crypto. Now, I'm not going to walk you through, guys, today when it comes to the on-ramp. Why? Because it's literally the same, but the reverse flow. So it's how to create the experience where you have the user, they've connected their wallet address, you recognize that they're a Holyheld user, and you can tell them or ask the users that, oh, do you want to buy tokens and put it into this savings vault, or maybe put this in the lending market, or essentially maybe just buy a meme coin. You would use this on-ramp. So on-ramp is the reverse of off-ramp and is essentially how to move the money from fiat to crypto. We've just worked over how to move money from crypto to fiat. That is that. Essentially, the only difference between off-ramp and on-ramp is that for an on-ramp here, you're actually waiting for the user and the Holyheld to confirm this transaction, because that would the first leg of the transaction is off-chain. Before it moves into on-chain, the user needs to confirm it. When it is an off-ramp, the user confirms it by actually signing the transaction in their wallet. So TLDR, the user connects the wallet to your dApp. Holyheld works with that Web3 session that you basically pass through us, essentially through the utilities. And then we can bundle that transaction data so that the user will sign it in their wallet, and all of this magic happens together. Now, there's a bunch of utilities that we've talked about, and there's also different examples here on how and what not. So you can take a look more, and maybe you want to create an app where it's a portfolio tracking. So maybe like you generate the wallet for the user, and then you want a user to see the portfolio. You want to see how the assets perform, how the prices have changed, and then allow them to move in and out. So I think quite a few guys heard about different meme coin apps. Think of this: you can build your own, and you can build inbuilt on-ramp and off-ramp, basically with these apps. I'm not going to go into error handling or logging, but essentially we give you all the tools when it comes to figuring out what was the error code that you received, depending on which method you use and whatnot. If you need to debug, then essentially you can also enable the debugging and logging. And ultimately, finally, is that we give you this link, which I already showed you before. That's a live implementation. This is a raw HTML example. And the source code for that we've published. And I will just quickly go back to preview here. So once again, if you missed this, the QR code on the left is the source code in GitHub. Go take a look at it, use it as you want, copy it, change it, modify it, fork it, do whatever you want to do with it. And all of that source code allows you to actually build this live demo, implementation, and based on this SDK. The live demo example is the one I showed earlier, and the SDK docs is something that we've actually walked through today. Now, before I end, I have my closing stage here. Stefano and myself, we were thinking about what are these really cool things that both our users, people on crypto Twitter, CryptoX now, they've been actually looking for, and something that you can build with Holyheld SDK and existing on-chain protocols. So, Stefano, over to you.
Thanks, Anton. And maybe let's give it like a couple of seconds for people to put in questions, like for the SDK or everything out that is like there. Please put them in the chat, either on X or on YouTube. That's the way you get them answered. Mike, I guess because you're showing up, there are questions.
Well, there are no questions from the audience from what I see, but you've mentioned a couple of times that people can also reach out to you. Through what media would it be? Like, do you have any links that I can show up down below as a banner or something?
There's only two. Yeah, there's only two: Twitter or X. So it's Holyheld, just like the name. You can always reach out to us via DM there. Or two, you can actually always reach out to us via the in-app chat. So go on Holyheld or mobile or web, and then go into the support. There's a live chat there, and our team will be able to help you, whether you're our user or not. If you're a developer and you want to build something, you have questions, you can always ask those questions in the chat. And it's never a bot. It's never an AI thing. Trust me, bro, because we do make mistakes. We do respond, with the latency, but it's always the live person that is there to help you and answer that question.
Yeah, like you will get at least one of the interns joining you in chat as soon as you can. And for everyone that speaks actually German, Anton, I actually like the Holy Geld one. It means like holy money. So I like that. I like that one.
Great.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Awesome. Yeah, Anton touched upon it. We went very briefly, like what is the application which you actually can reach real users that are there. We also went through the whole SDK on like how you can actually use the SDK to basically on and off ramp in and out of crypto. And he mentioned these sort of multi-method calls that you can put in front of any of your transactions that you would like to do. And here's like a short, not like all-encompassing list of ideas that are basically out there for you to grab, build, and we're super happy to help you along to build this. One is savings. Anton mentioned portfolio tracking, but if you look at DeFi as a space, you have a lot of places where people could get yield. I think what we are missing today in crypto as a space, especially for end users, is a place where someone can easily go from fiat and utilize any yield opportunity on chain. So if you build a nice application, a nice dApp, a nice mobile app, which basically connects fiat and crypto rails to go and save and then spend from that savings page again. This is something that all of this tech stack that we just showed is enabling you. The other one that the whole tech stack enables, and it's something we will be really, really excited to see, is something which we coined as pay-per-use, but it's basically subscriptions and microtransactions. Given the fact that crypto enables this low latency, low fee ability to spend money for individuals, it also enables creators to receive this money real time, right? So imagine basically you see on streaming apps and everywhere else, people basically donate funds, or imagine you could have a place where someone could live sell a product and spend crypto on it. This is like something where the pay-per-use feature could be something that we see going very, very viral over time. Then another thing that we see as more and more important, and just given, I guess, a large audience here is out of the German-speaking regions, or at least European regions, we still lack truly on-chain FX markets. Parts of this is due to liquidity, parts of this is due to venues. But here we have, like, for the first time, a tool that allows you to go in and out of crypto seamlessly. So it allows for also institutions to go and arbitrage these pools. So again, here's all the tools. Build a global FX market that allows for proper on-chain foreign exchange markets. Then again, another topic that is really dear to our heart, and especially with BRRR coming more and more to life very soon, more on that on all of our channels. But we see crypto as a great tool, and especially stable coins, to use for global remittance. But when we talk about global remittance, it's very often younger people going across the world to work and remitting funds back home. And here is a great opportunity for anyone to basically build an application that abstracts all of the complexities of wallets, accounts, private keys, public keys, all of this good stuff, right? And even chains and underlying tokens. But you could build the next fintech that is building one remittance channel, dominates it, and gets like that remittance channel done, not just for B2C but also B2B. It's more and more a topic because we can see you can locally on ramp, you can move the stable coins across the world with the speed of light of Solana, and basically from there go and locally off ramp again, right? So that's like the first set of just ideas that are out there that we know people would love to build, and we're here to help. I think the one that personally, from all of here, what I see and what we discussed, is something that I personally love the most, is we have all the infra here that allows for basically paying with crypto, but actually not spending the crypto. So if you're long and bullish Sol, imagine you could just go deposit it directly into Camino and spend basically stables you borrow against it. So that's like one of the applications that comes to mind there. So creativity is up to you. Be it build a really cool, unique user interface and user experience with the protocols that you like, with the security that you would like to implement. This is why we built this tool as modular as possible for devs to come and build on top incredible experiences for end users. So basically, borrow against your crypto that you're long bullish and spend that instead of them. That's a use case we see as an incredible one, and bonus points for anyone that builds logics that are self-repaying. We saw a couple of weeks ago a project that launched their first self-repaying SDK, utilizing the same tech stack as you got shown today. So you can go deposit like your assets, you can spend against them, and your collateral is paying off your debt, which I think is an incredible use case. Over time, yes. Long time,
so I think,
we get there.
So I think the TLDR here, guys, is that really we don't know what you're building, and we'd really like to know, but we would like to work with you if you're building anything from wallets to dApps to protocols. And what we really where we really see the BRRR shining is that how you can use Solana as a base layer and then implement that logic that lives on top of it. So whether, again, you're a wallet, a dApp, or a protocol, we can together create really cool, unique experiences that have not existed before. And then because again, so this SDK, it essentially allows you to build whether a web app or a mobile app, and we talked about quite a lot. We really think that in order to create this new compatible with Web 2 experiences, but better, we have to build for mobile. And we're here to help you, at least in that short part. If you think that your app needs payments, let's work together, let's build together, and let's push it together. So thank you very much for listening to mine, Stefano's ranting today. If there's any specific questions now, we are happy to answer it. If later, feel free to write to us or tag us on Twitter X, or just, again, as I've mentioned, write to us in the support chat. We're here. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the presentation, guys. It was very insightful. Also, I didn't know that you have that many use cases or things that you can build on, which is always great to see. Usually what I see in these presentations is that we have one use case, like just on-ramping or like just transferring stuff. And you do basically all of it, like on-ramping, off-ramping. And as I see it, your goal is basically, so if everybody would use Holyheld, then you only would have to verify once or like onboard yourself and then go from dApp to dApp with the same wallet and have like an easier interaction. Do I get it right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, in theory, imagine like if all of us, yes, if we're all customers here, then number one, you can connect as many wallets as you want, in Holyheld. We support pretty much all of the self-custody wallets. So you name the brand. What it means is that we don't limit you as to who and what. If you are building, a competitor to existing wallets, you can work with us. Our SDK even supports the custom interfaces there too. So we want people to use the wallet that they want. And then what happens is that if you are a dApp, then when your user comes and logs in or connects, right, their wallet, you can check without touching any sensitive information. You do not custody anything for the user. You do not ask their personal private information. With the wallet address that's already public, you can know if the user can basically on and off ramp with just one method, right? And then what it means is that if you use multiple dApps, but with the same wallet address, then multiple dApps integrated the SDK, then yes, you can have this unified experience, I would say, across the Solana ecosystem.
That's very cool stuff.
Also one part, and I just want to add this, especially for builders that are here, you don't need to just use self-custody wallets, especially when we go and look into building chain abstracted, right, applications where the user does not interact with like chains and all of that good stuff. And there also any smart contract wallet, custodial wallet solution, we're super happy to support you on building these things out, right? Because we're truly bullish on going beyond just crypto, but going beyond like basically what we have today as infra and push the boundaries there, because
Just
that's
beyond.
the way how we can onboard the next
by the way, I think I forgot, but didn't we have really just some bonus till the very end. So for everyone who's here live, it's like, yes, you guys had to listen through all of this, but then for all of you guys, listening to this and recording, maybe you just kind of skipped it to this exact part, and it's like, there it is.
Exactly.
But Stefano, what is it?
Basically, it's really great if we speak and do and all of this and showcase what you can do with Holyheld. We also wanted to get as many of you the chance to onboard as simple as possible. So we have a tag that when you go through the onboarding with us, that you can enter and basically get a very, very large discount from the 29 euros to just €1 to onboard and get your card and IBAN from Holyheld. Anton, do you want to spoil the tag, or do we want to? How do we want to best publish that one?
Yeah, I don't know. We need to ask Mike. Just one comment from there. From 29 to 1, that's a 96% discount. And we wanted it to be 69%, but then we thought that, for you guys here, we wanted to make it larger. So then it's like, if it's not 69, it's larger, then how do we make it? Let's flip it around, 96. There we go. And the tag is, what's the tag? I forgot what's the tag.
It's a very hard one.
Yeah, it's a very hard one. I don't know. Yeah, it's
kind of like Superteam.
Yes, guys.
Did I get it?
You did, yes. So look, guys, if you on board and then the app asks you, were you invited by someone? Don't say no, I wasn't invited by anyone. But then you do put in Superteam, and you will automatically have this discount. And also that we'll know then, oh, so you are from a Superteam fam. And there could be a lot more cool stuff there, and I think it would be really amazing for us if some of you guys work with us, and then we are also able to implement maybe certain features like in our app and our client, and then it would be super cool to kind of see it and go through this process from being a customer, to ultimately help build this ecosystem on Solana with us.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. I think for those of the ones that are watching right now and are actually looking forward to integrate your tech, I think now they have the best time to do so. And is the code time-bound? So should people rather do it now instead of like in 1-2 weeks or months?
No, it's forever. So ultimately, I mean, I should have said it's like, yeah, guys, it's time expiry. Do it within the next 20 minutes or the offer goes away, or you're too late. But no. So look, we understand that. Go explore. Take a look at this decay. See if that's something that you want to build with. Maybe you are interested in also becoming a Holyheld user. If you are, there you go. So this thing is for you. But it's also that it's really just right for the people that have listened through all of this. And if you listen through all of this, then I have, some serious questions to you, and I think that you're very like-minded people like us. So that's super cool. And I think this is why, there's no expiry code, so just go and use it. So if you tell it to your friends who haven't watched this video, my only ask is that, yes, just, don't give them the code, but let them be like, okay, it's somewhere in the stream, like somewhere in the video it's mentioned, and let them listen through this. If you're still friends after that, then you have really good friends. So, but yes, Superteam, just enter that, nothing else, and then the app would automatically detect and assign the discount.
Just saw that I muted. Yeah, that's great. Thank you for providing this code to us. And I think if people are actually wanting to integrate it, they will look through the whole video either way, because the stuff that you mentioned is will be very helpful for newcomers. So I don't think people will just come for the code and leave. If they join, they have to look through it all and gain all the information you gave us.
You come for one code and you end up with another code. Which is slightly different. Yeah, but yes, Mike, thank you very much for giving us this opportunity today to speak to all of you guys. We really appreciate this. Build on Solana, build on BRRR, build whatever the hell you want. Just go and build something.
Yes.
It's really, yeah, the only way to, you know, to see if that's something crazy that you have in mind works. So all the kudos to you, Mike. Thank you.
Well, I have to thank you guys for joining us to this Dev Guild. I think it was very insightful, very crucial tech for people who are into e-commerce on-chain. So thank you very much. And maybe we will see each other in some future events. Bye-bye.
Let's hope so.
Thank you very much.
Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
You too.